All right. Good evening, Raider Nation. Captain Jack, am back from across the pond, and boy, are my arms tired. Yeah, I know, old Henny Youngman joke. I just flew in, and boy, are my arms tired. But oh well. For those that don't know who Henny Youngman is, just Google him. GTS, man, Google that crap. But S instead of something else. Anyway, we are here joined right now by that lady who just knows way so much about our Oakland Raiders, and that's Miss Angria Trask. Go ahead and pop off to the crowd there, Angria.
Hello, I'm back as well.
I'm
It's
back.
been a quiet week, isn't it?
Well, you would think it's quiet, but not really. Not really. And oh, by the way, L is going to be showing up. That's Big L. He's running a little bit late, but he'll be here. Don't worry. We'll have the three-man crew. And again, apologies for those that might have missed us last week. But again, and I've said this before, if I'm in GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, which is 5 hours ahead of the East Coast, and L is on East Coast time, and then Angria is 4 hours behind that. That is 9 hours difference in time for one podcast. So it just logistically couldn't be done. But we are very happy to be back this week to talk our Raiders with you. So I tell you, you know what? Before I go into my spiel, I'm going to give the floor to you, Andrea. Just get it off your chest. Anything you want to say about the debacle that I'll talk about personally from this past weekend's events in London.
That's a really open-ended question. You give me way too much freedom to do that. 'Cause I could go on for days.
Well, okay, then keep it down to how about 7 minutes?
7 minutes. Okay, I can probably just give me like the 3, 2, 1 when I'm done. Okay.
Well, I'm not even going to time you. I mean, but when that goes to like about 10, 13, I'm going to say STFU. Okay.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
All right, Dad. Thanks a lot.
There you go, dear.
I know who that is.
Okay, I got your dad. Just
okay.
because I got the gray. Just because I got the gray whiskers don't mean that I'm anybody's dad. Now, I might be somebody's poppy, but I'm definitely not dad. Go ahead, honey.
You like those Hispanic women? Oh, my goodness.
Ay, papi. Ay, papi.
So I'm glad you were able to go over there, and I don't know how your time was. It looked like it was fun but frustrating. I saw some issues with some of the travel that you had to go through, unfortunately, and I'm so sorry. I hate traveling like that. It's frustrating and hectic and ick. But I'm sorry you had to go all that way to watch the crap storm that was the Raiders game on Sunday. I don't even remember the game. I don't even remember having a game. It was terrible. It was like a second bye week, but everybody got hurt. So what's the point? I don't get it.
I wish I could say I didn't remember, but oh boy.
Yeah.
Can't even say that.
Nope. Yeah, I turned it off for a little while, and then my co-host on my Just Win Ladies podcast, she reminded me that I can't really talk about a game if I don't watch the game. So unfortunately, she was right, and I had to turn that mess back on. But I was none too pleased about it. I have so little to say about it. It's unfortunate. I mean, there were some good things, but there were some really bad things. And I think the worst part about it is that everybody's hurt. There's not much we can do about that. Everybody's getting injured. So my question about that is, what the heck are they doing in practice? I don't understand how they're all so out of shape that they're getting hurt every single week.
Well, I tell you one thing, and I was, and this is actually, it's almost like the last 2 weeks I haven't seen the game. And because the Sunday prior, when we were allegedly playing the Garglers in Los Angeles, I missed
Garglers.
Well, I'm trying to keep it PG rated, so I call them the Garglers. when we were
I
playing
dig
the
it.
Garglers in Los Angeles, I missed the first 3 quarters because I was sitting comfortably in the USO in Orlando. Okay, so I figured, oh, okay, well, I'll get a chance to watch on TV. Forgot that we were watching, or we're in the USA, but or USA USO, yeah, the USO and the USA in Orlando International Airport. And yeah, I was watching football, but it was local TV, so I was watching. I think the Eagles were playing the Vikings, or yeah, I think that was the game. So that was the game that I was enthralled with because there was nothing else on. And then I remembered that there was a couple sites or two that had a feed. So I at that time I also had the knowledge that the Raiders were down. The last time I checked, they were already down. Again, I'm going back 2 weeks, guys. So it's been a while. They were already down at least like 14-0. So I go and I find a feed just in time to watch the Garglers go up. I think, let me see, it would have been it was the touchdown after Carr threw the interception into the end zone with everybody else that was available to catch the ball, but he decides to throw it to Melvin Ingram in the middle of the end zone. So whatever else happened after that, yeah. So I mean, I could have caught it. The Paperboy could have caught it. I think a 3-year-old sitting in the first row of the end zone could have caught it because it was right to everybody except somebody that was wearing a white jersey. So again, missed that game. I want to say thankfully because of how putrid that they played. Not said, well, nothing can be as bad as that. And of course, nothing can be as bad as the last time the Raiders went out to London, because I said I had a fantastic weekend of the Raiders in London in 2014, set aside from the 3.5-hour ass whooping that the Dolphins laid on us, which was Dennis Allen's last game. Well, I was wrong, because as horribly as they played in London 4 years ago, at least they got a touchdown first before the world ended. As horribly as they played the week prior in Los Angeles against the Garglers, at least they put a few points on the board. Oh no. Oh no. The Raiders, for some strange reason, decided to mail it in early and often this past Sunday. And the best part of the trip was the time I got a chance to spend with the Silver and Black UK. The Black Hole Germany was out at a couple events. There were the Swedish Raider fan club, a bunch of guys from the UK that were there. All of the events that I had a chance to go to was fantastic. And then we get to Wembley. And by the way, Andrea, the weather the entire week was sunny, and I want to say it was hot, but it was comfortable. It was sunny. It was non-English weather for October. And I know because I used to be stationed in England, so the weather that we had there for that week was fantastic. And then came Sunday. The only day that it rained.
I was going to say, that's not real stereotypical for England. That's
right.
Nice that you got some nice weather.
It was wonderful. I mean, I got a chance to go out around the English countryside and hang out, and got a chance to visit the place I was stationed at from 1995 to 1997. So I got a chance to do that. Caught up with my roommate from a place in the Caribbean, which we won't talk about. So got a chance to do all the sightseeing, fun things with all of the group. And then Sunday occurs. And unlike 4 years ago when the Raiders scored first and then, like I said, the world went to hell, they didn't show up until, I want to say, the third quarter or maybe even the fourth quarter, when they got a mercy field goal just so that they wouldn't be blanked on the scoreboard. Okay,
there were 3 full quarters of no scoring at all.
Oh, it was horrible. And the funny thing is that I even went to the concession stands at halftime for the nastiest two hot chocolates you'd ever want to have in your life. It was hot water with because I found out later on that they didn't stir in the chocolate. It was a lump of crap chocolate at the bottom of both of these cups. So it was like mud water for the first time. And then I saw the crap accumulation of chocolate on the bottom of the cup. So I said, aha, I have semi-hot water. So I switched it back and forth. So I had one good cup of hot chocolate out of two, which cost me £5.20, which, excuse me.
That's like $7 or something, isn't it?
There you go. It was about seven,
That's
$8,
crazy.
and it was horrible. But I missed. Back to point. I was in the concession stands, so I come out from the concession stands and I see that the Seahawks have the ball, and I'm like, wait a second, the Raiders are supposed to get the ball in the second half, and I said, what the hell happened? They're like, the Raiders got the ball. Carr was sacked twice, and oh, by the way, he fumbled the ball, so that's why the Seahawks are down deep. And, it's already 14-0. I didn't even get a chance to see the Raiders come out because I have this nasty hot sludge of mud water that I'm trying to make into one good drink. And then, of course, to add insult to injury, Jano kicks one field goal. Now it's 17-0. Then a little later on, he kicks another field goal. It's now 20-0. And I'm like, what the hell am I witnessing here? And also by that time, I was asked I had 1 quarter and a half where I got a chance to stand up and dance and do all sorts of wonderful things in the stands. And, not to brag, but the people that were around me I had a bunch of Seahawks fans around me too, very few Raider fans. That's another thing, by the way. This was a home game. Hell no, it wasn't. There was more icky green and blue and yellow and all sorts of other putrid colors for Seahawk colors in this stadium that I saw of black. And they were in groups. There were groups of 10, groups of 20, whereas the Raider fans were maybe 3 in a row or 4 in a row. And I guarantee you, based upon talking to folks that who shall remain nameless to protect their identity, because I don't want to rat them out, it was deliberate that the NFL Europe screwed over Raider Nation because of some reason why. They made sure that the Seahawk fans, and I'm not just saying this to say this, I firmly believe this, the Seahawk fans were accommodated. They had groups and blocks of tickets, and the Raider fans were maybe 3 and 4 in a row at a time, and they were all spread out. 4 years ago, we had a black hole section. We were sitting in one end zone, and it was a conglomeration of a bunch of Raider fans as a group, and we were loud, and even though we got our butts kicked, you could see how loud and proud we were. Not this time. We were thoroughly outshouted, and I know for a fact, okay, I don't know for a fact, but I in my feelings, we got screwed over by the Europe NFL conglomerate for tickets. That's the last I'm going to say. I've been spouting off. I hated what I saw on the field. I hated it. Not one touchdown. Not one great offensive play. Not anything that was even memorable offensively the Raiders had. So it's like, I didn't need to go to watch that. I don't need to look at the field to watch that. I could have watched the highlights because there were 0 highlights other than it was 27-3, if I'm not mistaken, final score. And
Correct.
I tell you, there was more action going on in the restrooms, I'm sure, than there was on the field. I swear it was a horrible game, and we have very little to look forward to in the fact that I did see Cooper get waxed and get hit hard. I did see Seth Roberts get waxed and put off the field. I did not see Feliciano get hurt, but I did notice he was gone because I said, who the hell is 71? Why is he playing left guard? Then I find out later on that he has an injury. So I'm watching this debacle, and then, oh, by the way, I on BSPN, and yes, I said that correctly, Bravo Sierra Papa Network, the BS programming network for sports, that according to Coach Gruden, Lynch has got some injuries that's going to be lingering for the rest of the year. And it's like, so, and he was running hard, but he was running into nowhere. The offensive line was not giving him time to even catch his breath before they were on him. And I tell you, they were on Lynch. Lynch was trying, but he couldn't go anywhere. The offensive line is horrible in its present connotation. And I'm gonna shut up for a little bit. Go ahead, Andrea, because I need a break from this litany of crap that I'm about ready to spew out of my mouth.
You look like that vein in your forehead's about to make a presence.
Yeah, it's a bad sci-fi movie waiting to go on my forehead right now, I tell you.
Mm-hmm. I don't blame you. There are a couple of good things. Let's just put aside all of the bad. Yes, we lost. We lost a 5th game in a row. But Carr ran the ball. That's a big deal.
That was my only positive point. Yeah, what am I going to say now for positives? You took it. You took it from me.
Okay, well, you can have that one then. How about there was an interception?
Okay, that I'll take that as a positive. And that was a good tip, by the way.
Our one of our 3rd-round rookies got his first sack.
Arden Key.
Mm-hmm.
That okay? Yeah, I will give you that. That is a positive. And
there were some things here that were definitely worth being happy about. I mean, they were not necessarily like the most happy person in the world, because of course nobody can be the most happy person in the world when you get your butt whooped by the worst offensive line in football. However, they do have one of the best quarterbacks in football behind that offensive line. So if we got whooped by the Seahawks, I can't be too upset about it. We got our butts handed to us, which is what I'm upset about. There should have been a much closer game. It should have been a much tougher battle than that. But Russell Wilson's Russell Wilson, and I can't be mad about losing to Russell Wilson. His defense is still solid. I'm just glad that Derek didn't get intercepted by Shaquem Griffin, because I would have been pissed about that, because the memes that would have come out, oh my God, they would have been awful. Can you imagine?
Oh yeah. And again, there's nothing. We are not ragging on those that are not fully handed, because Shaquem Griffin.
No, absolutely not.
Like I said,
Shaquem Griffin is amazing. I wanted to pick him up.
Yes,
I really wanted us to draft him, but I know how Raiders Twitter and Raiders Facebook are, and people are evil. They would have, oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine what somebody would come up with as a GIF or as a meme to throw in Derek Carr's face, because let's face it, poor Derek is taking the brunt, absolutely head and shoulders more than anybody else on the team, which is unfair.
Well, okay, but here's the thing, though. You know it and I know it. No matter how well the team plays or how crappily they play, the quarterback is going to get the most positives and platitudes, but he's also going to get the most crap thrown at him because he is the quarterback. It's basically the Oakland Derek Carrs are 1-5. Even though it's a team thing, actually, I guess this team would be the Oakland Carr Grudens are 1-5, because that's all you hear about is Jon Gruden does this and can't do that, and Derek Carr can't fight his way out of a wet paper sack in a monsoon where the paper is rice thin from Japan. Okay, that's what they're saying about Derek Carr. And I said, and I appreciate you giving me the one positive, because that was really the best positive that I had, was the fact that Derek Carr actually, when he wasn't running for his life because he was being squeezed in, it wasn't even a Latin rumba. It wasn't 1, 2, 3 kick. It was 1, 2, because they were on him not by the count of 3, and he was being squeezed. And he ran 3 times at least for, some positive yardage. I know I want to say you probably got the stats in front of you. I was so hot around the collar. You're going to tell me how many yards he rushed for. I think it was about 30 something yards.
31.
Hey, I was really close. So that's pretty good considering that I'm not looking at it. I know my girl has the stats, so I'm happy.
I'm not looking at it either. I just know.
Oh, okay. Well,
he was our second leading rusher behind Marshawn. That's pretty sad.
Yeah, and I was going to say Marshawn probably had about 12 to 14 carries with maybe a little over 30 something yards, because all we did was feed Marshawn. And I know Derek ran for about 3 or 4 times because he was able to, which was great. At least he's showing he can do that. But if you're one positive, for at least for me, for the game, is the fact that your quarterback is running when he's being squeezed out, is your main positive. That's not a very happy thing to say. So yes, great platitudes and awesomeness and bravo Zulus, as we say in the Navy, to Arden Key. The fact that Miller played again, nursing I think it's a grade 2 MCL sprain, and he's not playing that bad considering, but still.
He's not playing any worse than any of the other linemen, except for Rodney Hudson. So
right.
Can't hurt him on that.
No. And again, and you know what? I went, before we get into this as well, okay, I'm gonna play a game of basically plus and minus, okay? Since we're here, and when L comes in, he'll be able to join us as well. I'm going to say what is a positive surprise and what is a negative surprise, and we'll go around the horn on this one. And this is from the first 6 games, because after we do this, Rosanna Dana, and everybody that's out there for being able to hear us out there, we're going to go through what we think are going to be the highs and lows as far as what is the minimum record the Raiders are going to have and what is the best record in our minds the Raiders are going to have. But we'll do that after we go through the positive surprises and the negative surprises. And since I'm a gentleman, I'm going to let you go first, Andrea. For the first 6 games, 1-5, by the way, we didn't lose 5 in a row. It just seems like we've lost 5 in a row. So, it's just been that bad. So go ahead. Your one positive surprise from games 1 through 6.
Oh, that's a tough one. I am actually pleasantly surprised that Maurice Hurst is ranked number 3 among rookies in his position. And I believe it's number 8 in the league at his position. It's pretty impressive and pretty amazing that our rookie, who everybody passed on, nobody wanted him because God forbid he's going to drop dead on the field, except, let's just ignore the fact that he's been cleared by everybody and their brother. But so we got a draft steal, and this just solidifies Jack's and my choice for our draft pick. He was our first round draft pick when we were doing the pre-draft show. I think it was. I'm pretty proud of that. I'm pretty happy about it.
No, Jack is in who?
Captain Jack, you.
Okay, I wanted to make sure because I thought so as well. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't cheating on me with some other Jack.
No, I would never.
Okay, well that makes me feel better. Okay,
I'll just make sure I call you Captain instead. How about that?
Well, you can call me anything you want. Just don't call me late for dinner, because that's just not happening. Okay, and I agree with you on the one positive. I actually kind of cheated on this one because I kind of lumped them all together. In the pleasant surprises are the play of Key, Hall, and Hurst together. Okay, our 3 rookies are playing so well considering what we are asking them to do. Okay, having said that, again, or I shouldn't say not having said that, but that is in addition to having to take up the slack of a certain player who shall not be named. Okay? He who shall remain nameless, 50 who, can't remember who his name is, some guy that a lot of people are talking about, yada, yada, yada. But these guys, Arden Key, PJ Hall, Maurice Hurst, as a group, as a collective, are playing so well together based upon the fact that they have had to really take the bull by the buzz and go and play beyond compare. Like I said, Key got his first sack. It's been a long time coming. He's been so close the first couple games. PJ Hall had his first sack the very first game, and then Mo Hurst got one I think against Denver, so week 2. So everybody at least has at least one sack in the first 6 games. So they're playing well, and I can see such a great thing for this defense to be once this defense actually comes and solidifies and gels. And that is when they get their stuff together and we get rid of some of the old men that are playing that really shouldn't be playing. And that'll be, but that's a preview of one of the things that's my negatives. So that's my one positive again. Okay, your first surprise that's a negative on this team. And we'll go back and forth on this.
Oh, the defense is actually pretty shocking to me. The defense overall. We've got these 3 guys that are performing so well, and they've come out and said, bottom line, hands down, we're a unit and we want to be Raiders, and they're playing like it. Like you said, PJ Hall had a sack in his very first game. He was out for a couple of games with that injury, but he came in and he put it down on the field, and he is trying every single week. These are 3 guys that I think are the future of the Raiders front 7. They really are. But I'm really disappointed in specifically Bruce Irvin. I think he's been just completely gone. I don't see him on the field hardly ever. And if he is, he's not making sacks like he said he was gonna. So, I mean, Gruden didn't drop him back into coverage anymore, but he's not really doing much about it. Unfortunately, he's kind of just disappeared. And it's unfortunate. It really is, because I thought that he was going to be a major player in the line, but he's not.
Okay, so. since you mentioned him, I'm going to say yes, he was on my list. I do have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6.
You said 1.
No. What I'm saying is, I because I wanted to make sure I had a listing, so we would have these on here. And basically my I have 5 positives and 6 negatives, and Bruce Irvins was on one of my negatives, so I can say basically in the immortal words of Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore, ditto. Okay, ditto.
Yeah.
Bruce Irvin not only is not showing up, then this schmuck with a capital schmuh has the audacity to be quoted to say that he would rather be making babies than playing for the Raiders. Why this guy still is on the team as of right now is I have no guess, because I would have cut him as soon as I heard that, which is a segue to one of my other negatives. And again, so this will be my number 2. DJ, Derek Johnson, who has been invisible, has been so bad that I saw today that the Raiders finally put this bastard out of his misery and cut him, which is good, because I had a positive feeling that DJ would be bringing a lot of the mental toughness that he had in the teams in Kansas City. The guy has had injury after injury. I think he's had both of his MCLs or ACLs or something. Pick an L that's been screwed up the last several years, and he's been gone. But at least I thought he had that mental toughness to bring that capacity to the Raiders, that is definitely looking for somebody to take over on defense as a leader. The guy has not shown up. So not only has Irvin been a major disappointment, DJ was one, and thank God the Raiders finally figured it out that they don't need to have some guy that's not going to be producing when they could be giving more time to people like maybe Nick Morrow to hopefully get out there. And that'll be my segue. I'm going to go right from a negative right to a positive.
Hold on. I got to put you on hold.
Okay.
Because this is part of the problem with Twitter and Facebook and all this news that goes around. The actual comment that Bruce Irvin made had nothing to do with wanting to make babies rather than playing for the Raiders.
Okay.
Let me read it to you so
Please
that people
do.
understand.
Please do.
He said, "We lost, but I've got a beautiful wife I get to go home to, boy. I'm going to try to make some babies, man." That's it. That's all he said.
Okay.
Okay, that's innocuous. There's really nothing bad about that. It's like you want to go out and, you know what, we lost. I'm going to go get drunk. I'm going to go home and bang my wife. That's really what he's saying.
Well, if I played that, or if I've seen that much of a bad thing, I'd probably want to go home and bang Bruce's wife too, because I know that it would be something better to do. Okay, and having said that, then I officially rescind all of the nastiness of the thought that I said, because again, I was only told, because being in England and reading the comments and being a little bit detached of what's actually going on, I was told that was his direct quote. If it was not, then I apologize to Mr. Bruce Irvin. I was told that basically his direct quote was, "I'd rather be making babies than playing for the Raiders." I was wrong. Thank you. That is why I have Miss Andrea Trask on board here, because she keeps me in check and gives me all the positives of what we need to say as well. And hearing the thumping that's coming in to my right, there's a very large and awesome guy that has joined us. So again, welcome to the show as well. Big L has joined us, and thank you for coming in, shipmate. So good to see you as well.
All you had to do was say, "A gigantic wave of sexy just overcame you."
Well, but I've been looking at a gigantic wave of sexy, and that's Angria. She's about 4 hours, but it's four hours behind.
This overcame
I'm really,
you.
really sitting
You've
close
been
to my
enjoying
camera.
visual. This just crashed into you. See,
He is a big sexy, ha 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 ha, and I'm not going to say the words because you know the song.
Sexy.
Ma, 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 ma. There you
Behave
go.
yourself.
I will. But again,
I will do the next lyric, which is "Shake That," but
Yeah, never mind. Anyway,
I
welcome
only
to
do
Big
that for
L.
money.
Al, you're a little bit behind, so we're gonna deal you in. We're
But
gonna
look.
deal you in on this deck. Okay.
You guys can't see it, but she's laughing.
She is. Now, since you're here
Never.
you're here in time, we're going through the positives and the negatives that we've seen so far.
Well, as long as you guys got the positives out of the way, I guess.
Oh no,
I'm
no,
ready.
no! We're going back. We're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We've already established for positives.
We can see.
We've
her.
already established for positives that Marshawn. Oh, sorry, no, I take it back. My positive and Angria's positive has been Hurst, and then I added in on that basically the trio of Key, Hall, and Hurst is my positive. My negative, which, well, actually I got a chance to go in from Andrea. Andrea's put out Bruce Irvin. I said I see that, and I'll raise you a DJ by the name of Johnson. So what is a positive or a negative, since we'll get you caught in and we'll get you caught up. For the positives and negative, one positive, one negative for the first 6 games so far.
My negative, Derek Johnson. My
Okay.
positive, his ass is gone.
That's legit.
Do I get
That's fair.
another one?
You can go do
Jack
another
made a
one.
list. Sorry,
Okay.
Captain made a list.
I did. I made a list because I wanted to
My
make sure I didn't
negative.
forget. Go ahead.
Reggie Nelson. My positive, his ass is next.
Fingers crossed.
I can only hope that's true. Again, nothing has been stated so far, but yes, that's a negative. In fact, that guy is so bad, I didn't even put him on the list because that's basically been a negative all year. I actually forgot to put him as one of my 6 because I've been berating him ever since the season started. So thank you for putting that in there.
Well, I got you emotionally charged before the season started.
Oh yes,
But
you
see,
did. Yes, you
Let
did.
me give you the insight on my knowledge of Reggie Nelson. See, I stopped by Popeyes the other day and see.
Why has this always got to go back to a chicken joint?
No, this ain't a joint now. I put
Popeyes
in
is a
some
chicken
serious
joint.
work on a neck bone, and this Jamaican lady next to me, I gave it to her, and she started reading it.
The chicken bone?
Oh,
Reading what? I heard chicken bone and reading.
she was reading
what?
the chicken bone. You know, they do wonders with chicken bones.
Okay, now I get it. Jamaican chick reading the bone.
Voodoo churns.
They
was
do,
doing,
yeah.
They was. She was reading the bones, and when I said Reggie Nelson, she broke it. So, I got this thing where I'm figuring either that was his neck or his contract.
The fact that we don't want anything majorly nasty to happen to a player.
No, I don't want anything nasty to happen to him.
But I will give you the fact. I hope that voodoo child contract thing is gone. So that, like you said, DJ is gone. Hopefully, Reggie Nelson is next, and I'll give you that as well.
And
I hope so as well.
The analogies that I'm concerned about that are eerily similar, and see, were you down here 15 years ago when he was doing, when I say he, I mean the Chuckster. Did he pull this same wonderful voodoo with when he started to wield his magical hand over the Buccaneers when he dismantled them and turned them into what they're still trying to dig out of now?
Yeah, I've been here about 15 years. So, yeah. Okay, well, wait a second. Hold that thought, Andrea, because that's going to be my last negative. But we're going to hold that
I saw her
one.
throw up hit the back of her teeth.
Yeah. Okay. She did throw up a little bit in her mouth, and it really was there. But we didn't see it come out. But because it was just like the young lady in
Wipe
Dodgeball.
right here.
Okay. But yeah, that's my last one, and we're gonna wait on that one. Okay, Andrea, positive. I'm gonna do a positive. Then, oh boy, chicken bone reading, Jamaican chick reading.
Call me now.
Is gonna do his. Give me a positive.
Lord.
Give me a positive on the year.
I'm still hung up on what I was gonna say. That's not what I was gonna talk about.
Okay,
Y'all are ragging on Gruden. Okay, tell me what season before he got there was Tampa Bay successful? I'll wait. I'm still waiting.
Wait a second. Whoa. Are you saying that Tampa Bay wasn't a successful franchise before Gruden got here?
I am saying, did they ever win a Super Bowl? When was the last postseason they saw?
Oh, they saw plenty of postseasons before Gruden was there, honey. I was actually
How
here.
long ago?
Before Gruden, they were in the playoffs successfully under Tony Dungy. They could not win the ultimate game to save their life. Wait a second. He
has four postseason wins with the Bucs. 4. That's it.
Whoa. Wait a second. Whoa. We're not talking Gruden. We're talking Buccaneers.
We're talking Tony Dungy. I just told you. He has 4 postseason wins. That is it.
Yeah, but he was there at least 3 years consistently making the playoffs because they had the one rule from the guy that caught the ball, Emmanuel, right? The Emmanuel rule of catching the ball where it could actually touch the ground. That was a rule that was made out of a playoff game that the Bucs were in. Okay, that's 1 year. The year prior to that, they had a good playoff year, so they were in the playoffs at least 2 years prior to Gruden getting here. I want to say 3, but I will definitely say at least 2 years where they kept going there, could not get over the top. Why? Because they didn't have an offense, which is why they say, Tony, thanks for all of the good work that you did on defense, but your ass is gone. We're going to bring in Jon Gruden. He's going to help us with the offense, which is the only thing that he was brought in to do. 1 year later, Gruden is holding up the Lombardi, and Mr. Dungy is on his way eventually to Indianapolis,
where he did.
All right, let me give you something here. I'm going to drop this fact on you.
Okay.
Tony Dungy. I'm sorry, I was incorrect. He has 2 playoff wins. 2.
Yeah.
2 playoff wins with Tampa. He only went. He did go 3 years in a row.
Thank
his
you.
last 3 years.
Thank you.
However,
he didn't win.
He only won once.
Right. I got you. But the Bucks were a consistent playoff team with Tony Dungy as their head coach.
You know what a consistent playoff team is? A loser. Look at Kansas City. They can't win a damn playoff game to save their lives. I'm over the argument that Jon Gruden ruined Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay was not a contender at all. Tony Dungy couldn't put together an offense, and I'm not blaming that on Tony Dungy. I am blaming that on Tampa Bay Bucks. The organization is not big on finding quarterbacks. They're not big on spending money. They still aren't. When was the last superstar quarterback they had on their team?
They haven't had a superstar quarterback on their team.
Ever.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, no, they had Steve Young back in the 70s.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. They also had Steve Spurrier.
Wait, was he the water boy or something?
No. Technically, Steve Young was their superstar quarterback, but that was before he became a superstar.
Hey.
Because he went from Tampa over to the LA Express, then to the San Francisco 49ers, because he went from the NFL to the USFL, back to the NFL, because he made his bones as a member of the Los Angeles Express after the Bucks drafted him first overall. Maybe not first overall, but a first round pick of the Tampa Bay Bucks.
And Bucks, that's where quarterbacks go to die, or it's where they start and realize, I'm out. I can't do this. So
I got you.
Where's that?
You know what I mean? Like,
Where?
it's past time to get over this whole Gruden won with Dungy's team, and I know you didn't say that. I'm just saying.
We didn't say
Tampa
it.
Bay is a mess. Tampa Bay has always been a mess. Tampa Bay will always be a mess.
And
if you have Tony Dungy, hold on. You have Tony Dungy, who's a perennial
Let's not
playoff
forget that Doug Williams
coach.
started here.
And then they fire him, right? So how are they a good team if you're going to fire your perennial playoff coach? And yes, you got another coach who actually took you to a Super Bowl and won that Super Bowl. But what have you done since then? Absolutely nothing. You picked up Jameis Winston, who got suspended. You picked up Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm about to retire any minute, and so I stole Conor McGregor's threads, and he's not doing anything now. They get rid of all of their defensive players that are good, or they play them till they're dead, and they are not going to be a contender anytime soon.
You seem to think that I'm actually giving the positives of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a team that I despise with all of my heart, from all of the nastiness, from all of the fluids that are dropping down to my testicles.
Okay, that was mostly directed at Elle, because Elle's the one over there talking about, Gruden ruined Tampa. He left and didn't have blah, blah, blah.
In his defense, though, I see that because sitting here in Tampa as we are, we saw what Gruden did to a team that did win the Super Bowl, and then within 3 to 4 years just systematically destroyed that team. Which is why Gruden has gotten a bad rap of A, being out of the NFL for 10 years, and B, being a guy that does not know how to build a winner with young players, which is one of the things that I was actually leery of him coming into Oakland, is what was he going to do with this Oakland team that has a lot of positives of the younger generation. And the first thing that he's done is look who he's picked up this year. Reggie Nelson, 87-year-old Reggie Nelson, I say every year, each time. 87-year-old Reggie Nelson is playing safety, okay? Then you have a bunch of linebackers, DJ being one of them, Lamore being another one, Whitehead being another one. He's got a lot of long in the tooth players on 1 to 2 year contracts. Why 1 to 2 year contracts? Because in 2020, when this team is going to be playing in a brand new stadium in Vegas, then they will have gotten rid of all of these older guys, and hopefully, and I do say hopefully, this team isn't ruined by having Jon Gruden do that magic voodoo that he did in Tampa and took a team that was perennial playoff contenders and ruined them. Okay, yes, Tampa hasn't done crap since they won the Super Bowl. But at least they won a Super Bowl, which is something that we haven't done since the Raiders played in Tampa in 1983, actually technically 1984, okay, to beat the Redskins 38-9. In Tampa, yes, I was kind of up the road, so I remember that game. So there's that big Raiders to Tampa, back to Raiders to Tampa, all rolled into one big schmear, okay? Will Gruden do it again? It's yet to be seen, but I'm, as of right now, and you know what? I'm just going to blow off the negative and go right to him. My number one.
So wait, there was a buffer, like a negative buffer in there before you got to Gruden? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, actually, I had a couple other things, and I'll say them right now. We already gone over that Derek Johnson is one, and Bruce Irvin's been one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and throw out the other couple, and then you'll come in with yours. Doug Martin, can't stand him. Get rid of him.
Oh, yeah.
Not a positive. Okay, and then my next one is Amari Cooper, who has been played, basically has had one good game in these first 6 games. One good game, and the rest of the time, he's been Casper. He's been a ghost. Nobody's seen this gentleman, aside from the one good game that he had, which I believe was game number 2 in Denver, okay? Which leads me to the third person, or actually the fourth person, that I'm not really happy with this year, and that's some guy by the name of Derek Carr. Because aside from him finally picking up his feet and running for first downs this past game, has played like he is looking like he's going to get sacked every game. Now, granted, I understand that that's with a shaky offensive line. I got that. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a play there. Very shaky offensive line. Understand why he has the, oh my God, they're about ready to kill me look in his eyes. He has the same look that his brother David did in Houston. Okay, which leads me to my number one, what the hell is going on? And that is Mr. Jon Gruden with play calling that has been, if it's his plays, if it's Greg Olson's plays, if it's input from Mr. Callahan as the quarterback coach, whoever it is, and if it's Derek Carr himself that's checking off of these plays, my number one, oh my God, this sucks, of this team so far of the first 6 weeks has been the play calling under Jon Gruden and that is being implemented by Mr. Derek Carr. That is my biggest, what in the holy hell is going on with this team offensively? Go ahead off of that, Andrea.
That's not the word you said in pregame.
In pregame?
I was just trying to make her laugh, but she
okay. Go ahead, Andrew.
Okay, first of all, that offensive line is not shaky. That offensive line is hanging on like you nailed an egg to the wall, okay? If you breathe on it hard, it's going to fall over. So I got to give more credit to Derek Carr than that. Now, if we want to look at stats, we can look at stats. Derek Carr still he has a higher completion percentage this year than any other year he's had. He's on pace to put up more than 4,000 yards right now. He's on pace to put up more than 25 touchdowns, which is great. He does have the most interceptions in the league, but his receivers are not doing him any favors.
Okay.
What?
So if we're going to go on stats, how many pass plays does he have that are over 10 yards, and how many pass plays does he have that are over 20?
It doesn't really matter if he's getting him to the right receiver. Okay, he's making a read, and I get it. He's a first-read quarterback.
With The Rock lately, it doesn't matter how many pass plays he has over 20.
Drew Brees just took over the all-time passing yardage leader with a lot of short plays. Most of his plays are under 10 yards, and he has a huge arm. We know he can throw that thing down the field. Derek does too. But when you have a pocket collapsing in 0.18 seconds, there's not much you can do. You throw it off to somebody that you can get it. And I'm not apologizing for Derek Carr. His decision making is poor. And what he needs to do, what he's not doing, is he's not actually figuring out how to get out of this situation. He's got the ability to run out of this situation. When the pocket's collapsing, it's on him to get out of it. And he's not doing it. I've seen him run into the pile, like up behind Rodney Hudson, where everybody's falling into more than once this season. And it's terrible. That's like the dumbest thing you can possibly do as a quarterback. You know you're going down. So the presence that he had this weekend was actually very, very encouraging to me, because he actually made it around. He had 2 quarterback sneaks that he failed horribly at, but the rest of the runs that he had were great. I mean, I don't know. He did a good job.
By the way, that one quarterback sneak, I and everybody in that friggin' stadium could see that was a first down, and how they could call that a not first down, I have no clue. When I'm sitting X section 39 rows up, and I can still see, even on an angle, that it was a first down, and how they could call it not. I was so livid at that point. I was looking for things to throw, but I didn't throw the flag that they gave me as a freebie, and I brought a few of the extra home. But I was looking to throw the stick. Okay. So
well, you're talking about refs though that didn't call a blatant personal foul on McDougald, who hit the crap out of Amari Cooper, knocked his helmet off just about. He might as well have, because I'm surprised that thing wasn't cracked afterwards. Also, didn't throw a late hit flag on Derek Carr when he went down because his arm got hurt, and everybody thinks he cried. He didn't cry. I've watched that thing 1,000 times, by the way.
Cried.
So stop it. Then he got hit again right behind that. He did not cry. You guys are.
He cried.
You guys are.
I didn't say he cried. I'm saying he said he cried.
He cried.
Okay, you know what, Elle? You and me are going to fight. We're fighting for the rest of the day. Not talking to you anymore. He got hit late after that, and nobody threw a flag. You can only hit a quarterback once, okay? You can only do it once. You're not allowed to do it twice. You get one bite at that apple, and that's it. The Seahawks were doing that all damn day. They didn't have any problem with it. Everybody was fine with it. No, that's not a flag. I wouldn't throw that flag. Well, if it was against your team, you would have thrown that flag.
Apple. See, we'd be running around here naked right now if you guys didn't mess with apples.
Y'all can run around naked if you want. That's
no.
Wrong company. Wrong company.
No. By the way, if I wasn't mistaken, that was Tony Corrente that was out there, wasn't it?
Probably. I don't remember. I mean, I turned off.
Or is Tony Corrente Mr. Index Card? I just know it was some dude.
No, Mr. Index Card has retired. That was Gene Steratore.
Okay, Steratore. Yeah, then it was Corrente. I knew it was an Italian name.
Yeah, it was
okay,
Tony Crapente.
Yeah, Tony Crapente, who was the head ref. I was like, I know we were screwed as soon as I saw the guy. I said, we're getting Jones and Juice this game, because that guy has got more connections with guys named Vito, Guido, and Arturo than the law allows. And I knew that he was going to make sure that no way we were covering the spread. In fact, we were probably going to go negative 3x on the spread. But I saw Corrente out there, and I said, we're not going to win this game anyway, unless they have Moses come back and he parts the Red Sea in the middle of Wembley Stadium.
Well, what can I say? I like a nice spread. What can I say?
Hey, I tell you,
people
Matt.
think that Raiders fans are conspiracy theorists, and I got into a fight on Facebook with a few different Seahawks fans, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we don't know anything." I'm like, "All right, you know what? You know nothing of 50 years of flags going against us just because we walk in the door, okay? I get it. Seahawks have been flagged, but you know what? They drew those flags, and the amount of flags they didn't draw that they should have over the last 5, 6, 7 years is ridiculous. Richard Sherman is one of the most grabby, handsy, physical cornerbacks in the league, and he is a flag magnet. He should be anyways. The amount of yardage that he prevents is about the same as the amount of yardage of penalties that he gets. Michael Bennett also flag
don't even
magnet.
know that the Seahawks were in the AFC West.
I told you I'm not talking to you. You shush.
Shush. Go ahead, Andrea.
Anyways, nobody understands the pain that we feel. Okay, we've had like two bad calls go our way. Okay.
Yeah.
And the rest of them, tuck rule. All right. Immaculate reception.
Deception. Get it right.
Deception. Thank
Immaculate
you.
deception.
Deception.
Okay.
Index card gate.
Okay. And
We
now
can go like
there's
one that people name every single decade, it seems like.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then on top of all the ones that we didn't earn, on top of all the ones that nobody sees except Raiders fans, we are not crazy people, okay? We're not conspiracy theorists.
We're not conspiracy theorists, and you're not paranoid if you think that everybody is out to get you when in fact they are out to get you. There you go.
Exactly.
I'll give you that, sister. Talk to me. Give me the sister neck too when you're talking, because yes, there you go. Roll that neck, baby. There you go. You guys can't see it, but that was a wonderful sight.
One less vertebrae and that thing's on the floor.
But I tell you what, but I will say this, okay? And it's based upon what I saw from the game. This was all I saw on first and second down. And you're looking at me there, Andrew. So here, you can see where my hand. I'm a right-handed, right? This is what I saw all game.
Mm-hmm.
And notice where the ball is going. It's going either diagonal or immediately laterally to my body, if not a little bit behind or a little bit ahead. Okay, so either a pass for 0 yards, a pass for -1 to 2 yards, or a pass for 2 yards to the right side, to the right side, to the right side. I thought I was watching a rerun in the mirror of JFK, back and to the left, except it would be back and to the right, back and to the right, back and to the right, because there was nothing downfield except one time I saw a ball go downfield. It was on 3rd and 3. And who was the ball to? It was to our speed threat, Martavis Bryant, except it was about 10 yards over his head. And the guy asked me, he says, "Don't you guys got a speed threat? Don't you guys got a speed threat?" Except the guy was English, said, "Hello, bloke, don't you guys got a speed threat out there?" And that's my best Cockney right there. And I said, "Yeah, it's Martavis Bryant." And then sure enough, he goes to Martavis Bryant, except for 2 things that were wrong. A, it was on 3rd and 3, and he throws it 10 feet over his head. So what in the holy hell is going on when you have back and to the right, back and to the right, back and to the right, first down, second down, third down, punt? And that's all I saw. I didn't see a drive until about the 3rd quarter where the Raiders actually put a couple plays together, okay? I think I might remember seeing the one drive in the first half that got us to within a field goal distance, and then we got the field goal and we didn't get the points. That was one drive in the first half, one drive in the 3rd quarter, and that's all I remember is like maybe two drives the entire game. Am I wrong there?
No, not at all. But one thing to remember is that Derek Carr doesn't have a safety blanket right now. His safety blanket, Marshawn Lynch, wasn't able to penetrate their defense at all this weekend. And that's something he counts on. He obviously does not do well and does not make the best decisions at all. I mean, he's not making good decisions for a lot of the game anyways, but he doesn't know what to do with himself when he doesn't have a safety blanket named Marshawn Lynch. Derek he got happy feet and he tried to do something on his own. And I get that and I respect that. The problem was that, you need to have that back. Marshawn is a big part of this offense, and when he's not able to get penetration because he has nobody to block for him, even though he's beast mode, you can only get through so many people. And this is the last couple of weeks. The week before in San Diego, I don't even care. They're the Chargers and they're in LA right now, but they're going to be back in San Diego soon.
Actually, we're going to be in San Diego before the Chargers are, because I predicted this and I'm pretty much standing on it. The Raiders are playing in San Diego next year, 2019. Book it.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
absolutely.
But see, this is my thing about all of that. It's hard. It's very, very hard when your pass game is not respected to the point that the defense has nobody 10 yards off the ball. You can't have a run game. Because they know your quarterback's not going to throw the ball. He's not going to look. I mean, we can talk about not having our O-line. Our O-line wasn't hurt all year.
Actually,
This has been a problem for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It hasn't
Donald
been a problem
Penn
for
and
2.
Gabe
It's
Jackson
been a
have
problem for
been hurt a year.
6. Marshawn Lynch was able to run until the last 2 weeks. It's the last 2 weeks where defensive coordinators have figured out, okay, this dude is not going to look downfield. And they've rolled the ball up, and we've no longer been able to run because they know that you have a quarterback that is shaken, that will not look downfield. If he had the guts to run a play action pass,
or a rollout, why don't we have him roll out anyway? I mean,
not even roll out.
Yeah.
Run a simple play action pass on a tackle eligible, and you could have Donald Penn out there with screws in his ankle run for a 95-yard touchdown pass because it would be dogpile on Marshawn Lynch, and Donald Penn would be out there in a wheelchair for a touchdown pass because he'd be so open. Because have we run one play action pass this year? I can't remember.
Well,
I think there was one.
I was going to say, to answer your question, we have one. I remember 2, and the second thing is that Donald Penn would not be eligible because he's on the IR.
I don't care if he's eligible or not. You get the point. You could put my fat ass out there,
Okay.
and we could run. Okay, an ass. Okay, you could put my fat donkey out there, and we could run a play action pass. Put me in 0-1, a number. Well, we don't retire numbers. You can put me out there in Jim Otto's number, and we could
No,
run.
that's not double
that's
O
the only
is
one
not
that's been
eligible.
retired.
You correct me about another number, I'm going to choke you. And we're going to, come on. It's ridiculous. Our play calling is sterile. It's like,
Andrew. It is. It's horrible. The play.
I'm
calling
telling
is
you,
what's been horrible.
it's like they've dug up Downing's playbook, and Downing is running around naked in the coach's box
with the chicken bones.
like he has like a little pirate headset going, run it again.
Yeah, and if you
Run it to
notice
the other
that
side. I'm like,
Derek at the line is so easy to. I mean, he's got like 4 calls. If it's red, they're throwing. If it's blue, they're running. If it's what did they say? He's got like 4 calls that he uses. I don't remember what they are because I tuned out like after a certain amount of time.
Yeah, but
but as soon as he says like Hollywood red, we know that they're gonna pass probably somewhere between 5 and 10
Hollywood
yards.
red is to the right.
Yeah, I was going to
The
say
hot
red,
receiver to the right,
red,
and anything else is to the left.
Yeah.
But we do know that it's going to be either Cook or Richard getting the ball.
because
There's no question about it.
Yeah.
And now we're down to 2 receivers. So
And what I like is Richard's having a breakout year. No, he's the closest one to our coward quarterback, so he gets the ball whenever he goes, take it.
I want to give Derek a little bit of time
I'm not
because,
giving
and
him
I know
shit.
he's had a lot of time,
He's in his
but
fifth
he hasn't had a lot
year.
of time with one person.
2 years post-contract. No credit.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to mediate between this two, between you two guys. I'm going to give a middle ground, okay? Because I see both. I see the fact that Derek Carr is in his 5th year and should not be doing some of the really stupid things that he's doing, and the fact that he's playing like a scared, screaming Mimi. But I also
And I can
know.
see that.
Okay, thank you. So at least you see that. But again, the play calling has been atrocious, so I see that as well. I'm not going to lay it all on him. But if he's in his 5th year and he's supposed to be the godsend, he can't be playing as horribly as he did. So there's got to be some middle ground here, okay? Got to be some middle ground.
He's playing like he's feeding people apples.
Okay.
I think if Jon Gruden was there when his contract came up, he would not get that contract. Gruden doesn't want to hand out QB money to anybody. And I guarantee you, I know he's never had a franchise QB start from, not day one, obviously, but he's never had a guy this young that he can mold and play with and make into whatever he wants to make him into. He's got 4 years of habits to break.
Okay.
And I still think Derek Carr's a little starstruck. I think he's starstruck. I think he's nervous, and like you said, he's scared, and he still plays like he's scared, like he's going to get hit any minute. But he needs to channel some of that inner Russell Wilson. Take the sack, take the hit. You're not going to break something every single time. But the man did break 3 bones in his back last year.
I got
before,
you.
he broke his entire pinky, he broke his ankle. I mean, he hasn't had a good 3 years in a row.
Okay, I'll give you that. Now, you also said the key word. You also said sack, okay? Because, Derek Carr needs to show some, like he has a sack, okay?
All right.
Because he's not really showing that this year, okay? The second thing is that we're gonna talk about Gruden trying to get a quarterback from jump. He had a certain kid by the name of Chris Sims, and nothing really good happened with him.
And that was all him.
Okay. And
Chris Sims is trash, though.
Okay, but I'm just saying he did at least have the opportunity, and Chris Sims actually did play with a lacerated kidney, so I'll give him the fact that he had a sack. Now, this is a great segue because we're talking about Gruden with a quarterback, and he has to break Derek Carr's bad habits for 4 years, which is a great segue to what I'm going to throw at you now, Andrea.
Hey,
because
I have a question.
One second.
I'm not talking to you, Al.
Okay.
No, this is for you, Jay.
He's got it for me, but
I have a point.
Okay,
I have a point.
Okay, well, before you do the point, I want to throw this out here because this has been, and I swear we'll come back to the point. Jason La Canfora reports, allegedly, the Giants are going to trade for Derek Carr at the Combine and give us a first-round pick. Okay?
Woohoo!
That's the statement. That's the statement. Agree, disagree? What do you say? What is Miss Trask's view of that statement by Derek La Canfora? Jason La Canfora about Derek Carr.
Y'all ain't never been married for long, have you? Because it seems like, Jesus, you married for a couple years, everything's great year 2, year 3, things go down the hill a little bit, year 4, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it takes time to build somebody. It takes time.
20 years.
Who's 20 years? Derek Carr has not been here for 20 years. You have. Then why are you willing to give up on Derek after 5 years?
I'm not giving up on
4 different head coaches.
I'm not giving up on Derek, but I'm saying this, okay? And again, I'm a big Derek Carr supporter, but I'm still trying to find a Derek Carr that was Christmas Eve game 2016. I want that guy to start playing for me again. And at least when he was running on the field, I saw some of the glimpses of the fact that he'll take the ball, tuck, and run and go. That was the first portion of him playing with a set of nuts that I've seen this year. Because he hasn't shown any of that. And I'd like to see more of that.
He hasn't had a coach. Last year, Todd Downing didn't know what he was doing. I don't even know where Todd Downing
didn't keep his ass in the pocket. His balls did.
Well, I don't know what you just said, but
you said something about pocket and balls.
So we're not playing pool here. Calm down. He didn't have anybody last year. He had to try to make his own playbook. Let's be realistic there. So yeah, maybe making Derek Carr make his own playbook was a bad idea because then he'd go out and if he made a mistake, who would get the blame for it? All Derek Carr. At least Gruden, yeah, everybody thinks he throws people under the bus, and I can see it. I get it. It looks like he does. But he takes a lot of the brunt. Jack Del Rio didn't do crap.
I agree there. I agree there. You're talking to the choir on that one. You're preaching. Yeah. I'll give you that.
So Gruden, Derek Carr is trying to adjust, and Derek Carr's trying to figure out, where's my role in this? Where do I fit in? What do I do? Okay, am I going to take the blame on this because somebody else was out of their route? Am I going to take a blame because I threw a ball to our fullback and he didn't catch it even though it was right at his face? His face mask could have caught that.
That was one pass.
I was there.
Ridiculous.
What about all the softballs? What about the underthrows?
I'm telling you. I'm not talking to you. You stop.
Okay, but in defense,
you can't expect this guy to come back immediately. And I'm not trying to be an apologist. I'm really not. But let's be realistic, okay? We cannot expect day one after 6 months of being with this, again, a new head coach and not knowing one thing about his playbook. Can't expect him to step on the field and be perfect. He's got the most complicated job of anybody on that team. He is trying his best, and running his ass off this year compared to what he did last year.
Okay, I'll give you that,
Okay.
and that's one reason why I said that before I forget, you had a point, and I apologize. You said you were going to make a point.
Yeah. When the Chuckster picked up Chris Sims to be his quarterback understudy, he also picked up one Cadillac Williams. That was his draft.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the quarterback that he passed up is still playing in Green Bay.
Yeah.
We know who A-Rod is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what the Chuckster does when he has the keys.
Didn't 19 other teams pass on him too, though?
Huh?
What position was Rodgers drafted in?
Rodgers was drafted, number 19 or 20 by Green Bay.
I think he was 20, so 19 other teams passed on him?
Yeah.
We're talking about the Chuckster. And we're talking about Mr. Quarterback Whisperer with his head firmly implanted in his blowhole.
I got to agree with Elle on this one, okay? Everybody blew that one. So if Gruden is such a great quarterback aficionado, he should have been able to see that.
Nobody's asking Derica for...
Who?
Derica.
Did you just call him Derica? Did you just make him into a black girl? Is that what you just did?
Well, that's what he's playing like because he's caught up in his feelings.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Oh, no, you
Do I need to
did.
roll my
Yes,
neck
I did.
again?
Oh, there's the neck. Oh, there's
Uh-huh.
the neck. Okay.
'Cause I bet you he got a thong on instead of a jock strap.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Aren't they
go
the same
ahead.
thing?
And if he is wearing a jock strap, he got it on backwards because there ain't nothing to hide because they're still up in his body cavity.
Oh.
I mean, it's not the fact that he doesn't know the playbook. It's his problem is down in his core.
This is all cumulative,
because
though.
Where
It's not just because he's been hit a million times. It's not just
because he
he's
hasn't been hit a million times. He's not David Carr. David
I
Carr became
understand.
gun shy because he got beat like a effing pinata. Derek Carr,
Actually, pinatas were beat less than David Carr was.
exactly.
Yeah.
Derek Carr is not scared because he got hit a million times. Derek Carr is scared because he got hit once.
He got
And
hit
now he's scared
hard.
because
It wasn't
he thinks
once.
he's not the Tin Man, but the Straw Man. He thinks all the stuffing's going to fall out of him if he gets hit hard. So his
Broke
problem's
his
not
leg on
between
one,
his
broke his
ears.
back on another. How would you do?
You had the floor, Miss Trask.
Okay, I'm sorry.
His problem is in his core because where his heart is, there's a heart there, but there's also these two little nodules that are called balls that are supposed to hang, but he has them tucked in his chest cavity so they don't get hit. If he allows them to flow freely like the rest of the men on the field, he may realize that with air, he will reclaim the swagger that he had the first 3 years that got him the paycheck, that allowed him generational security for his family.
Okay. You know
Because
what?
my reality is this. If he doesn't, then the Giants will trade for Eli the second, except he won't have the rings, but he will have the inaccuracy and the pathetic results that Eli grew into. They'll just have it 15 years younger.
Oh, okay. Well, I tell you what then. Okay. We're going to segue out of this because we can bitch and moan about Derek
Oh,
Carr.
I'm not bitching and moaning. I'm preaching. I
okay.
don't know. I'm talking about Derica.
You
Don't
ain't
you
preaching
start
to
with me.
nobody.
Okay.
She
Well-
got the neck roll, but I got
I tell you what. Let's get out of here. Last thought. Lockin' Forest says that the Raiders trade him to the Giants. You for that?
Hey, I put it like this. If the rest of the year goes like this, cool.
Okay.
Let me
Go-
finish
go-
what my point was because
go-
we got off on a way big tangent. 'cause
Okay. Finish up. And
Oh,
'cause
now I
we're-
got
we're-
to be a tantrum.
What
is
is
that my
no, I didn't
reaction?
say tantrum. I said
No,
tangent.
No. Not it wasn't a tantrum. It was a tangent. Go ahead, Andrea. Finish it up.
Okay,
She
Jon
knows what I
Gruden's not
did
going to
there.
trade away the guy that he came to this team for. There were two guys he came to this team for. One's gone because he wanted to be gone.
That's right.
Let's not make any bones about that.
He who shall remain
One
nameless.
of them is still there, and he's trying his hardest to be impressive. Now, you know when you try too hard, what happens? You fail. You screw it up somehow. Something's wrong. Okay, so Derek Carr needs to stop trying so hard, and he just needs to let things come naturally. Now, I agree 100% with Elle. His heart he's got to go to a sports psychologist, and he's got to get this fixed. This is a mental thing for him. 90%, I believe, is mental. But Derek Carr, no way, no how, not at all is he going to trade his franchise quarterback.
Okay.
This is a clickbait. That's all it is. It's clickbait. Okay. I need some ratings because blah blah blah.
And you know what? I can give it that as well. Okay, so
I agree.
Okay, I'm just saying it was put out to me, and I don't threaten me with a good time. Okay. Anyway, I was asked to comment on it, and I figured I would throw it out there to my crew here as well. Okay, and thank you both for your comments on it. And I'm actually kind of in the middle. I'm like I said, I want to see what Derek does for the rest of the year. I'm not giving up on him. I still think that he can be that premier franchise quarterback that we are paying him to be. But if he doesn't get his shite together, I'll say it in English, real English, okay, old English. If he doesn't get his shite together by the end of this year, then it's up to Gruden on what could possibly be a top 1, top 2, top 3 pick in the NFL draft if he goes to New York. Now, okay.
Don't be surprised.
Well, it'll be our pick that'll be the top 1, 2, or 3.
Well, no, but then there will be a top 1, 2, and 3 pick for Oakland mixed in with a top 1, 2, or 3 pick for New York, along with maybe a mid, 15, 16 pick the way the Bears are playing right now.
I think the Giants pick, because the Giants division is way worse than ours. The Giants pick will be probably 6 or 7.
Okay, well, we'll go at least. The Raiders could have possibly 2 picks within the top 6, and along with a possible top 15.
I never thought we'd be the Browns.
Well,
I need a drink.
You know why we're the Browns? We keep giving up.
Okay.
You can't give up. You can't go through 10 quarterbacks in 5 years and expect to have a good team.
I'm not giving up because I'm still here, you're still here, and Elle's still here. Okay.
I'm not giving up.
Okay. Now,
I'm not going to say I don't need a gummy right now.
Bottom
line. You're giving your quarterback up.
I'm giving him up. He gave up. Somebody needs to hit him in the chest with a sledgehammer and get his balls to drop.
And with that thought, let's go to the special section that we like to call It's the Bye Week. What are the Raiders going to finish at the end of the year? Andrea, give me your top and bottom. What's your floor? What's your ceiling for the Raiders' record at the end of 2018? Elle, you're next, and then I'll give you mine.
Well, my top is, you never know what could happen. The best we could do is I think we could do 9-7 if we really tried hard. And that's the prediction I made at the beginning before the season started. However, the only game we won was the game that I got to attend. And since I can't afford to go any more games, I'm going 1-15.
Okay, so basically you're saying you're going to go with what you had, or or because you can't go to any more, it's 1-15.
Right.
Okay, now we can take care of that, folks. We need a GoFundMe to get Andrea to the games, because every time Andrea goes to a game, they win. So let's get a GoFundMe to get Miss Andrea Trask to the games. If the more that you provide, the more that you give, give until it hurts. Let's get Andrea to at least 9 more games this year, so we can be 10-6. Okay.
I'm all about it.
Okay.
I'm on board.
Now, but you're on record. You're saying that now. I think we have a little bit more on our floor than 1-15. So you're saying 9-7 best, but you're saying honestly 1-15. I think we can beat that.
I have another.
I think we can beat the Colts. So it's possibly 2-14.
Okay.
But
she can quit bathing. and then we can just scrape some Famunda cheese and like.
Oh,
Where did this conversation just go? I don't know what just happened.
I don't know.
What, we can
L,
just mail it to the stadium?
No. L.
Huh?
Top and bottom, floor and ceiling for the Raiders in 2018.
I think he just hit the floor. He just dug himself
like
underneath.
the way that her eyebrows shot into her hairline when I said that.
Your eyebrows did go.
She was
Your-
like, ah!
It was.
It's not like I have a tiny forehead.
It was a uniquely divine and scary sight all at the same time.
What can I say? I'm a little brother. Shock value
Okay.
is everything to me.
Okay,
All right.
shock and awe, top and bottom, floor and ceiling, go.
Okay, top.
Based upon what you've seen, the shite show that you've seen this
Based
year.
upon what I've seen, we call upon the ghost of Bubby Brister, and
Wow, you're throwing it if you're throwing Bubby Brister's name out there.
we dig up the number 6 of Bubby Brister.
Okay. Now, which iteration of Bubby Brister? You talking Pittsburgh Steeler Bubby Brister, Denver Bronco Bubby Brister, Philadelphia Eagle Bubby Brister? Which iteration of Bubby Brister are you talking?
Actually, we pull out the number 13.
Jay Schrader
No,
of the Mad Bomber.
the Detroit Panther, Bobby
Todd?
Hebert.
You're talking about Todd.
No,
The Michigan Panther.
the Michigan Panther Bobby Hebert.
Yeah. We go
Okay.
USFL.
USFL. Okay, I got you. Okay, so Bobby Hebert, not
And
of the Oakland Invaders, mind you.
No.
Of the Michigan.
Those of the owners of the ugliest uniforms in the USFL.
Okay,
Um,
so not Bobby Hebert, Oakland Invader. We're talking Bobby Hebert,
Michigan Panther.
Michigan Panther. Okay,
Yes.
13. Trot him out. Okay, go get Bobby. I think Bobby Hebert is probably cooling it in Louisiana, probably.
Yeah, he's in a swamp somewhere right now.
Okay.
So I'm saying high end.
Top ceiling.
Yeah. We got 10 games left.
Got 10 games left.
I'm giving us a solid 4-12.
Okay. And that's your top. That's your top.
Yeah,
end.
I'm giving an angry 4-12. We're a pissed off quarter of the season.
Okay, so basically win one game for every 4 for the rest of the year.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And so what's your bottom end?
We're milking the bull 115.
Okay, okay, wow. I thought that I was going to be the one that people were saying that
I'm a realist.
Okay, I'm a realist too. Okay. Andrew, you're saying 9-7, 1-15, which is a hell of a spread, by the way. Hell of a
I
spread.
know.
Okay.
That's
Any
what
given
they call
Sunday
me.
cap.
Okay.
I'll
We
give
got
them
L.
6-10.
Okay, so
6-10,
6
1
and 10
15.
to 1-15, which is still a spread.
Either they're gonna circle the drain or suck the gas pipe.
No. I'm saying this, okay? We are 1-5 right now, Raider Nation. 1-5. 10 games to go. 6 gone. My floor. Oh, wait, before I do that, I'm going to say that these are the games that I have circled as possible. I didn't say probable. I didn't say for sure. But I have as possible wins for the rest of the year. Okay? Arizona. In Arizona. The next home game, which will be Indianapolis in 2 weeks. Denver at home on Christmas Eve. And the 49er game in Santa Clara on a short week, the Thursday night game coming up.
You realize
Those are possible wins. So let's say,
Did you say we're going to win the last Battle of the Bay? Did you say that?
yes, I say we can possibly win the last Battle of the Bay. I say we can possibly. In fact, I feel good about that game. I feel good about that game considering that San Francisco lost their quarterback early, and at least we still have ours. San Francisco lost their running back early, and we still have ours, although he is injured.
Yeah, well, C.J. Beathard actually throws the ball more than 7 yards down the field.
Okay, but like I said, possible win. and I don't really dig the Niners D. So those are possible wins. So if we take them all, that's 4 more wins with the one that we have, which is 5. I still say there's another win somewhere, a surprising win. Top end, Raiders 6-10 to match the record from last year. Top end 6-10. My bottom is still better than what my cohorts in crime say, that we don't win another game all year.
We have to beat Denver, or I'm going to be suffering with having to wear a Bronco hat to our gathering of the Orlando Raider Nation.
Okay,
why
sucks being you. That's why I don't make bets like that, because I won't. You won't ever see a Facebook profile picture of another team. I don't make bets like that. Why? Because I can't control it, and I don't make bets of things that I really can't control. If I say I bet you. You better friggin' not bet me, because I know 100% that I'm right.
No, it's only purchasing the a hat for the winner. But if we get swept, I have to wear the hat.
Ooh.
See,
a size 8 ugly donkey hat on your head.
I would get a strap back so he could wear it.
Oh, okay. Well,
because I don't have to possess it for life. I just have to put it on.
That's nice. I still say, though.
So us rolling over in Denver pissed me off.
Well, I say that minimum.
Because you were the only one who got pissed off, El. Yeah, you're the only one.
My bottom line is Raiders with a 3-13 record. But still,
that was my pointing finger.
It's a good thing this is radio, because you guys do not want to see what I see here. And it's rated not PG. I still say that the Raiders will be better than what you guys have as our floor. I say that the Raiders minimum get 3, if not 4 wins this year. I'll even go up 1. But I still
be
see
disappointed.
3. I still say 3-13. Is our low. I still say, though, that the Raiders do get a top 5 pick at the end of the year. So
it'd be so cool if it was Chicago's.
If
it's Chicago's, it'd be so cool.
But see, and you know what? I don't see Chicago.
Well, Mac's out for the next 2 weeks.
I did not know that.
Yeah, his ankle.
Well, wait a second. It's He Who Shall Remain Nameless, a.k.a. 50 Who.
Oh, no, he's not playing. His name is Mac.
Okay.
His ass is going to be sitting there with me. His name is Khalil freaking Mack.
Okay.
He's nameless when he's got more sacks than us. We've tied him. His name's Khalil freaking Mack.
Okay.
He's buying popcorn.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I am spent from having a wonderful weekend again with a big, great group of fans that was over there, and I guarantee you this: the Raiders will be playing another overseas game next year, guaranteed. Whether they return to Mexico City or whether they do another trip across the pond, I will say that if the Raiders are lucky enough to go to England again next year, please do everything that in your power to save up your nickels and dimes, or your pennies and pounds, or pence and pounds technically, to get yourself over to see a wonderful event, at least aside from the crap that you might see on the field, or the pitch, as they say over in jolly old England. Go over and hang out with the Silver and Black UK, the Swedes, the Brits, the Scots, love me Scots, and all the wonderful folks that you get a chance to see in England, because I had a great time, and it was great to be out there with Raider Nation, as it is every week, where it's great to hang with my 2 cohorts in crime, the 2 that I love more than anything else, that makes this podcast uniquely different, funny, vexing, and curseable.
Hey, guess what?
For everybody.
It's cold where she is.
Oh.
It was 60 degrees today. You calm down.
Ooh.
True. but I'll tell you, it was actually nice there. It probably won't be that way next time we go to London. So if you missed it, you'll get another chance either in Mexico City or in London. So start saving now, Raider Nation. Because
I vote for
again,
Mexico City.
I like to go to Mexico City because I've missed out on the first 2 games out there. So I want to say I've at least gone to all of the other things. Maybe we'll go back to Japan like we did about 12 or 20 years ago when we had a preseason game there, and that would be really nice.
I'm about 2 feet too long for the beds.
Well, that just sucks being you, big guy. But
watch it.
It's that time to say goodbye to everybody. I'm going to throw it over to the people I enjoy hanging out with. You, and first off to you, Andrea. Go ahead and say good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Okay, but no. So go ahead, Andrea. Go ahead and just your final thoughts for the broadcast.
My final thoughts are: we have the bye week. I really hope we pick up some sort of an offensive lineman. We need one. I'm sure they're taking applications. Go out there and do that. Maybe they'll cut some more. I don't know. I don't think we're going to see Reggie Nelson gone, but that would be a great day in Raider Nation. Even if he was the next loss, I would take 2 more losses after that if we got rid of Reggie Nelson. I'm fine with it. I'm all good. But it's not time to give up, people. It's not time. These are the times that make men. Turn children into adults. We figure out what we're made of, and we see what our dedication to our team is. Be mad, be angry, that's fine. It's like your children. You always love your kids, but sometimes you don't like them.
No.
Right now, I don't like the Raiders very much. I'm unhappy with them. But logic has to prevail. We can't just be mad because Derek Carr's balls are in his chest. We can't just say, let's get rid of him, trade him, go away. We don't like you anymore. Who are we going to get that's better? Got to think about that. Who's better? We can't put another project QB
to have
in
to
the
admit
system.
it.
It's just not good enough. It's not good enough. We have to work with the pieces we have. So hang in there. We're going to get there. Don't worry. Have faith in something. I don't care what it is. Have faith in something.
Oh, I have faith. I have tremendous faith. However,
if you were about to say something negative, I'm going to kill you.
I was not about to say anything negative.
Keep it positive. Keep it positive, Ellen.
I am a bastion of positivity.
Okay.
Did I not offer to swing the sledgehammer into his chest to get his nuts to fall out?
That'll help. Good job.
See? Anything I can do to help. I'm all about the Raiders. But yeah, this is where, as far as our bandwagon goes, this is where we're going to get the fakers to shake loose. You know, let them go find a bandwagon to break their ankle to jump on. I'm a Raider fan, do or die. You know, I'm going to say what I need to say. I'm going to vent. I'm going to do whatever. But the one thing you're never going to catch me doing is pissing and whining and complaining. This is the nation. You know, I'm going to say what I have to say about Derek Carr and then tell him now, get your punk ass out there and play quarterback and win us a game. Then I'm going to say what I have to say, and then it's like, now let's go do this. But now, if you're not going to perform, then we got to do what we got to do. And I'm just going to, you know, let's fish or cut bait. We don't have years. We've taken 2.5 years or a year and a half trying to do this. Go get the therapy you need to get, do whatever, get it fixed and get on with it. Or we got to get on with it. You know, this is a what have you done for me lately profession. You don't have 2 years to help him get his head right. He's got to get his head right. You know, I mean, and as far as, yeah, during this bye week, I hope we pick up an offensive tackle because, see, we already got the backup safety. I'm about to, you know, get the dust off of my cleats and go out there because I figure between me and Reggie, I probably got better coverage skills than he does.
And you outweigh him by about, 150 pounds?
Well, shit, I get rolling downhill. I can at least get to where the ball is before he does.
All right, we can build a mound.
That's what drives me crazy. I mean, it's like you can tell he's thinking where he's supposed to be because he's always 3 steps behind. Exactly. He's always looking at where he's supposed to be. I mean, if this is what we're going to do, let's make the errors with the youth. We don't need old people out there stumbling around. Put the kids out there so they can get the battle scars that they need, so we can pick those scars off, so we have the new and the progressed age that they need to be in the positions that they need to be in later in the year. So there's actually progression.
All right, I'll see that, and I'll raise you this. Okay, in the off week, if you're anywhere near the Las Vegas area, get your Happy Raider Silver and Black Arses out to Raider Fan Convention this Saturday. Hang out with the greatest fan base, as everybody knows it will be. It will be in Las Vegas, Nevada this Saturday. And I'll be there trotting out my best. And I know I'm going to have a good time, as I always have a good time. I'm going to say goodnight to you, Raider Nation.
And don't forget to head out to Ariel's Tapas.
That's right. That's right. Go to Pamplona's restaurant, Mexican grill. I'm not sure exactly the name. Tapas and it's got to be tapas.
It's tapas.
Tapas. Go to Pamplona Tapas and you go comida, which means you eat. Go see Ariel out of Pamplona's Tapas in Las Vegas, Nevada, and head on out to Raider Fan Convention. And we'll see everybody next Wednesday. Until then, it's always a pleasure hanging out with my co-host. Thanks again to Miss Angria Trask. Thanks again to Mr. Big L. Lauren Finn.
Yarg.
This is Captain Jack. I won't yarg until we win, so we might be waiting for a yarg for a while.
Meow.
But until then, have a good one, Raider Nation. We'll see y'all next time on Coast to Coast Raider Nation Podcast. Good night, and we'll see you next Wednesday.